Hello, hello. Welcome back. Today, I'm going to do a little bit of a different type of an episode. It was suggested by a YouTube user, Annihilator, that I should do like a recap episode, kind of cover all the major builds and stuff like that that's happened. And since, the next episode's actually, this episode is a round number 60, and I didn't really have a proper 1,000 subscriber special, I guess. I thought I'd go ahead and just do a series recap and let you guys kind of go back through everything that we've done over these last about 3 months. So this was my original spawn point. Right there where that column of dirt was, very first episode. I wanted to mark that off. And I think it was at episode 2, I planted a tree on it. Okay. So a lot of this area has changed. I mean, not a lot, but there's a lot more trees here. That boat was for me coming over here. Now, when I first started, I had to find a little hidey hole to survive my first night. So I started coming around here, hopped over this mountain, and saw the epic view of this world. A lot of the natural features here are pretty awesome. See if I can bounce up here real quick. Yeah, check out that view. That is just crazy. Got a little lava flow there. When I first started, that was all dark under here. Had a whole bunch of mobs spawning right away in the middle of the day. I thought that was pretty cool. And then I found a little indentation in the mountain here. And I ended up turning into a pretty decent little house, I guess. Little cubby hole. Wasn't too bad. Found a lava lake over there. Let's hop down this way. Oop. Yeah, I didn't notice that lava lake until the very first night. And I saw the glow from it. And I came over to investigate it. And it turns out there was a zombie spawner there. So I found that in the second episode. Talking about pretty fast. And I decided to try a new type of mob trap on it. This doesn't work that well. It was kind of cool, but it needs to be bigger. And basically the mobs just spawn in here. They get carried by this water stream into the lava. And this has eventually turned into how I kill most of my tall mobs now. I don't use like a blade method. I just have a single block of lava suspended all by itself. But yeah, this is where that killing method all started. I still never got around to making that all nice looking down there. Whoop. And I think it was about the 4th episode. I decided I've seen enough of this place. It's kind of cool, but I wanted to take a boat, drive around, see what else there was to see. Well, actually, it was the 4th episode that I posted to YouTube. It was actually the 6th episode that I recorded. I had a problem with the original episode 3 and 4. My game crashed, and yeah, it was, I don't know. So anyway, the 4th episode I posted to YouTube, I ended up cruising around. I found a little cave, and I explored a little bit. But by the end of the episode, I ended up at what I refer to now as the main base. And when I first arrived there, it was nothing more than, just kind of like an epic cliff. And I was just kind of walking around, and I heard a bunch of monster noises and poked around, got into a little cave. Oh, I was talking, not even paying attention to where I was going. Yeah, I poked myself into a little cave, set up a little base there, and I ended up staying in that cave and around that general area for about the next 45 or so episodes. Yeah, it was not until about episode 50 that I decided to move out of that area. Well, this minus the reeds and the creeper face that's kind of covered up there was the epic view that I saw when I first arrived here. I believe it was right at the end of episode 4. Yeah, it's pretty cool looking. Really happy I found this place. All this tall grass and wildflowers weren't here. I later came back with some bone meal and sprinkled it everywhere after that was released in a patch. Yeah, so this was my original staircase down. I've since improved it, obviously. It was just a dirt path for a long time. This was just a cave, and I had like a little shop set up back here. And so this is the main base if you haven't seen it yet. I know I've got a lot of new subscribers. But yeah, I've done lots of improvement here. It was probably about the 12th episode or so. All I was doing was just figuring out this cave system. This was originally a cave. And it looped back around. The original entrance was about right here into what I referred to as the spider cave. I've since, turned that entrance into that tree farm there. But this was the spider cave. It originally came out through the storage room into this area here, and that was my staircase down. But when I first entered this area, I found probably 4 or 5 spiders down here. I don't even remember what it was, but yeah, it just seemed like there was always a lot of spiders down here, and that's why it originally got that nickname. And I spent some time figuring out this cave, got my first diamonds from there. I originally had 5, I believe, but somehow I missed collecting one and one got away. Oh well. So at the end of that episode, I believe it was the 1.6 patch that came out. And at that time, I decided I was going to start testing mushrooms because, mushrooms were the new thing. They started to spread. Mushroom stew is the best food item in Minecraft. So let's just hop out there, take a look at the farm. This used to be downstairs where the storage room is now. The storage room only was half its size. No, actually, let's go sleep all day real quick. Yeah, the storage room downstairs was only half its size. It originally had a skeleton spawner in it. That's why I made my home here. Okay, and this was the original, well, it's been improved, but this was my mushroom farm design. If you've ever looked up mushroom farming, I'm sure you've probably seen farms similar to this one, if not this particular one. I believe it was only the second or the third day after that patch was introduced I came up with this design, and it became what I think is the most popular design out there. I know there's been a lot of spin-offs and a lot of other mushroom farm designs. Static has one that's pretty cool. So originally had a ladder you climbed up and just placed one source block of water. I've since upgraded that, and it now just uses a piston, and it's pretty much fully automatic. You flip the switch. Water flows down from the sides. And water comes along these channels, pops up all the mushrooms, and they all get collected to the center point right here. Now it does have a little bit of flaws that I could have fixed by replacing these half steps with like solid blocks or whatever, but it's, just a couple of mushrooms. It's not really that big of a deal. Easy to come by and collect them. But on an average harvest, you get about a full stack of each color. So I've never really thought it was a problem with like a couple stragglers. And just turn that back off. And in case you haven't seen this mushroom farm design, this takes advantage of the fact that mushrooms can spread down. And I've also put mushrooms underneath these seed rows down here. Mushrooms can also spread up to the next block. So this repopulates pretty fast. My original design, when I first made this, it took about 4 hours for about, 15 or 20 of each mushroom to appear. Now that only takes about an hour for that many. And then I made a portal into the Nether, which is right down here. And I thought this has always been kind of cool. It has like a little flamage around it, stuff like that. I could have spiced up a little more, add some glowstone, maybe some nether rack on the walls, but I think it looks pretty cool like this. Now, I haven't really done anything special in the Nether. I just made like a cobblestone little house. Just something to keep the ghasts away. So yeah, nothing really special here. I just pretty much went around, collected all the glowstone that was nearby, easily accessible. And that's pretty much it for the Nether. And it was about after those episodes, I decided it was time that I was running, or it was about time I started making, a better storage area. I was running out of room. I only had like 4 chests at that time. So at that point, I decided to destroy my original mushroom farm, which was right here. This entire room was it. I moved it to an outside farm that I made a tutorial for. And I came up with this cool floor pattern and design. Later decided to add these water columns. I think they look pretty cool. And I had never really labeled these chests or anything, but this is like where I keep all my stuff. Only 12 diamonds here, but lots of iron and stuff. Okay. After I got done playing around with the storage room and making that all nice, I had an epic adventure underneath where the outside mushroom farm is. Had about 4 episodes with that and ended up nicknaming that cave the mother of all caves. That thing was so huge, it just kept going and going and never thought it was going to end. And while I was down in that cave under the mushroom farm, I ended up finding a dual spawner. 2 skeleton spawners were really close to each other. Later on, I made a track that goes there and made a really nice trap out of it. I've never seen a dual spawner trap before, so I'm pretty proud of the way this one turned out. So there's a spawner in this tower and a spawner in this tower. The mobs both drop down, they get flushed to like a center point, and they get carried along to right there. Come up like a single 1x1 mob elevator and just get sucked across into this lava. Now this was really cool. It really blew away my original skeleton spawner trap that I had in the main base. And it was around that time where I decided that it was time to get rid of that skeleton spawner. I had no use for it anymore since I had this, which would produce way more mobs than that one ever did. And that one, it was really too small. The skeleton spawned really slowly, and this just produced way more. So yeah, I ended up getting rid of the other spawner that was in the main base. Just completely destroying it, removing it, and that's when I extended the storage room out to the size it is now. Okay, let's talk about this tree farm since we're here. Now this isn't your standard tree farm. This is based on the assumption that you have like a skeleton spawner or a mob tower or some other form of having, a good supply of bones and bone meal. The idea behind this is you come through, you plant your trees, you bone meal them all, you come back, you chop them all down, you replant, back and forth like that, and when you're done, you just flick this lever, it sends water out, which pushes all the saplings and logs and whatever else that's fallen off from the main row, and it pushes them all to the center point. If you stand right here, you collect them all. It's pretty cool. Okay, here are a few of the other things that you haven't seen. That's my outside mushroom farm, which I showed a little bit earlier. It's my cactus farm, my semi-automatic reed farm, and my outside tree farm. Let's take a look at these real quick. I did a lot of landscaping out here. This area was kind of hilly, and I leveled a lot of it out. I didn't really make it all flat because I kind of like, the natural shape of the area. So this is the reed farm. Behind these walls are sticky pistons which push out wood planks. They knock off the top couple of layers of the reeds. They all land in the center stream and come forward. It's a pretty simple and standard design. A lot of people have used this. Just press the button, show that to you real quick. Yeah, this isn't made for a huge amount. I believe you get 18 per harvest. Kind of nice. Cactus farms right here. It's pretty simple. I mean, there's a lot of cactus farms out there. Okay, and this is the outside tree farm. It's made specifically for the pine trees and the birch trees. I'm a really big fan of the way these pine trees look. Really like them. And the birch trees are back here. Not really a big fan of the birch wood. I mean, I'm sure it has specific uses that would make it look good, like in a snowy biome perhaps. Basically, I use it specifically to turn into wood planks and other wood products. A feature that I added to my front door is a lava trap. It's hidden under the ground here. These 3 blocks get retracted and pulled underneath. I had an incident with a creeper coming through my door and blowing up in my face, which destroyed the whole front of my base area. So I decided to add in one of these just in case it ever happens again. I can properly dispose of any creepers. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It's my first ever trap. I've never made anything besides that, I don't believe. Okay, let's take a look at, well, I would show you the hostile mob spawner, but it is basically the same thing as Etho's hostile mob spawner. There's nothing special about it. It's about 30 blocks below here underground. It filters all the mobs that are spawned on the spawn pads to a center point. They all come up directly under this area here. This brings the mobs up to 1 block below the floor, and it just carries them all the way over here. The tall mobs get directed up this water stream, and they float along here into the single source block of lava. The spiders are filtered underneath this cobblestone, and they go into a spider drowning trap back here. It's kind of hard to see. I have a slime farm downstairs, which I'll show you in just a second. This is where, when I have the slime farm turned on, the little slimes come out and they drop straight down, killing them and leaving a bunch of slime balls here. And this is my branch mine, which is no longer really looking like a branch mine. This is the top of my slime farm. This is actually the off switch. Kind of show you what this looks like down here. So this is my slime farm in the off position. All of the spawnable area for the slimes is now covered with water, so nothing can spawn. Let's turn the slime farm on. Generates a humongous amount of lag. Okay, I think that the lag's cleared up. So I used the Slime Finder app, and I found out that right where my branch mine was, what this is down here, this was the ladder for it. I had 5 spawnable chunks worth of slimes here. I had 3 this way, 2 this way. So I've turned it all into a slime farm. The slimes, when they spawn, they walk into these water streams and eventually all get filtered down to the center point right here. They can't jump out of the water. They eventually drown, break up into little slimes. The little ones fall down into the center point right where that torch is. And that directs them along this wall, back over here, about to this point, and straight up. They climb a ladder and then come out into the storeroom where they die. Okay, so that takes care of a lot of the major things that I've done around the main base. I made this track here that connects the main base all the way over to the starting base. It's actually quite a distance, and it takes about, I think, a full minute between the two bases to reach there. Oh, actually, you know what? I did miss one more build that I did here. This was my spider spawner trap. This is my original design for that. Let me take you up into the actual spawning room and show you what that looks like in there real quick. Still have the game on peaceful for now. But yeah, this is my first spider spawner I found not too long ago, really, and then I devised a pretty decent killing method for this. I'm not going to go into great detail if you want to watch that episode. It wasn't too long ago. And I'll show you how these guys get killed. Let's cover this back up. So the spiders spawn, they get filtered to the center channel, and they drop straight down here. This trap works on the principle where the spiders get pushed all the way over to this side, and you can see the diagonal water streams. They get pushed over the smallest bit of lava that you can have, and then their drops land in here. Some of the drops actually do land on lava, so it's not 100% perfect. But it's a lot faster than drowning them, which takes, about 30 seconds per spider. You can see I just killed 4 of them like real quick and got some drops. Okay, let's continue on this track. Just gonna switch it back to peaceful for now. So I came through this cave after connecting the two bases and just used glass and walled off all the existing caves and things of that nature. Didn't really want anything spawning in here. Got enough light on the track so nothing can spawn directly on the track. And then I made my first underwater tunnel, which is coming up. I thought that was really cool. It's the first time I've done any kind of an underwater project. I used a whole lot of glass. And I think it turned out really nice looking. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. Oh, look, we got some squid here we can observe. That's cool. Okay, and that just about covers everything that I've done up until about episode 50. Whoa, that was some lag. Jeez. Yeah, about episode 50, I decided I've been at this base long enough. Went to the nether. I had already pre-scouted out an area for the base that I'm currently at right now. I made a minecart track for safe passage through the nether that gets us to the base. It's not that interesting of a minecart track, it's just safe passage. I'm going to come back eventually and make this 3 wide and with a glass ceiling. And probably glass walls so we can see everything that's happening out in the nether. Kind of give us a nice view. And this is the new base area. Alright, and that brings us to the current area, the current base that I'm at right now. I have a a hostile mob spawner on top of a passive mob spawner. Haven't really done a lot of work on this as far as like sorting out the mobs and getting everything to work properly. But the hostile mob spawner spawns mobs really quickly, and the passive mob spawner spawns mobs really quickly as well. Looks like I got a chicken stuck in the glass there. Yeah, the hostile mob spawner is just a gravity trap. And I have a problem with mobs not taking any damage sometimes when they fall into water. Sometimes they die, sometimes they don't. So I set up lava traps to dispose of the ones that don't die. And the passive mob system is still a work in progress. Right now I'm just disposing of chickens right away. I'm eventually going to sort out the pigs and probably, you know, make cooked bacon, cooked pork chops. And separate the pigs from the sheep and the cows, things of that nature. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this recap of the last 60 episodes of Hypno's Travels. I want to say thanks to everybody who's been watching me from day one, which probably isn't a lot of people since I started out with like no subscribers. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who's gone back and watched those first videos, everybody who subscribed and leaving comments, likes, all that fun stuff. It's been a good time. I hope you guys stick around for more episodes. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See ya next time.